Hi, this is Praios and I'm a professional gamer. Today I want to talk about a product called Simple Omaha. I will give you a tutorial on how to use their product and also give you my opinion on this product. Keep in mind that I will try to be as objective as possible, but this objectivity might have suffered because I'm also affiliated with the company and will add an affiliate link under this. By the way, if you decide to buy this product or give it a try, please use my link. This will not only help you but also me, because the product will be 10% off and I will also get a small commission if you sign through my link. So a win-win situation. And yeah, before we get into the video, keep in mind that I'm not really getting paid doing this, and I'm also not a huge YouTuber. And yeah, you would do me a great favor if you would like and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm. And if you also subscribe and hit the bell notification, this will also ensure that you will not miss any future videos of mine. And yeah, this might be beneficial if you try to get better in poker. As you can see, the Simple Poker team has quite a lot of solutions. This video will be about Simple Omaha. And yeah, this is a PLO solver. And yeah, first of all, they also got a video where they explain it. So feel free to check out this one too. I will also quote them sometimes about this. And yeah, the standalone version will be coming at about $250. If you come through my link, it's only 224, so you will get a little discount of 10%. Unfortunately, this license will just be for 1 year. And yeah, the version is for desktop and it's only usable on one computer. And yeah, the system requirement is also very important. You will need to have at least 32 gigabytes of RAM. And yeah, screen solution shouldn't be that big of a problem. Yeah, the operating system is also standard. Yeah, internet access also, I think almost everybody has nowadays. Yeah, the RAM is definitely the bottleneck and most don't have it. I would recommend that you have at least 64 gigabytes of RAM. That's what I have. I think this is even not enough. If you want to do big and accurate sims, you probably need at least 128 gigabits, at best even more than that. Let's now jump into the program. Without further ado, let's now get into it. Let's first go through the menus in Simple Omaha. Most of it is very self-explanatory. Yeah, here you can open a tree, save a tree, get an update, see what version of software you got, how the product is called, and so on. With Cloud, you can add an entire license. You have some free situations. You can get more once you get a license key, which I don't have. And yeah, standalone, I have a standalone license for Simple Omaha only. And yeah, you can also make some more settings. The most important one here is settings. On the license, you put in your license key. I'm not opening it because then you can pick up my license key and I don't want to edit the video later. But settings is the most important tab, where you have the algorithms to calculate the game tree width and also the accuracy which you can choose from, and the higher the more RAM is required. And they also all have some differences, and yeah, but I am not the most qualified guy to explain this. I will give this job to the guy who built the product and yeah, hear from the guys from Simple Poker themselves how it works.
We also have the settings menu right here, where we can enter the calculation parameters. For the flop, we can pick one of 5 algorithms. First 3 are vector algorithms that give us pretty precise results. And then we have 2 Monte Carlo algorithms that would actually work pretty fine for the flop and require a lot less resources compared to the vector algorithm. First, let me explain the difference between 3 vector algorithms, A1, A2, and A3. A1 is the most RAM efficient algorithm. It requires 2 times less RAM by default than A2 and A3. A1 also allows us to compress the game tree for up to 4 times. We can pick the magnitude of a compression ourselves, times 2, times 3, or times 4, and if we pick times 4, it will require 8 times less RAM than A2 algorithm. We can also do the calculations using bucketing. Bucketing is when we separate hands in different groups on turns and rivers, meaning that a few hands from one group will be calculated as one hand. This helps the program to use less resources. Then we have A2 algorithm. There is no compression for the A2 algorithm, and basically this algorithm is the most stable. It is faster than A1, but requires more resources. And finally, A3 is the fastest algorithm of the vector ones, but sometimes it will not converge. It will give you the wrong results, and you will be able to see it in the Nash distance. So the best algorithm here is A3, and we should use it by default. But if for some reason it doesn't work properly, if we get in the situation where it won't give us a good tree, then we choose A2. And if we don't have enough RAM, then we pick A1. And on the right we can pick accuracy, which is basically the amount of iterations that the program will go through. Okay, let's also compare the Monte Carlo algorithms. We have EC CFR and CS CFR. We recommend you to use ES CFR, and this is the default algorithm the program uses for the flop calculations. Well, basically those algorithms are very similar, but the first one, ES CFR, is just a little bit faster. But for some complicated trees, the CS CFR algorithm will converge better. But those cases are quite rare, so we recommend you to use the ES CFR algorithm. And for the Monte Carlo algorithms, we can pick an abstraction, which basically means the size of bucketing. I mean the size of the groups for bucketing. If we pick small, it will give us less accurate results, but will require less resources. And if we pick large, the results will be more accurate, but then again it will require more resources. Usually the small abstraction is quite enough. Then for the turns and rivers we only have vector algorithms, because Monte Carlo algorithms are much worse for the later streets and the results are not quite precise. Also, the RAM requirements are not so high for turns and rivers, so even if we use vector algorithms, the calculations will go pretty fast. And that is why we only use vector algorithms for turns and rivers. Then we also can choose the number of threads we want to use. My CPU has 8 cores, which allows for 16 streams, but I always pick 15. For my computer not to lag as much and basically completely stop working. Because if we use all 16 threads, then we use all the calculation capabilities of our computer and we simply cannot use any other program. Next we have calculate timeout in seconds. This limits the time for the computer to upload game tree into RAM. Just in case the machine cannot upload game tree and basically stucks, we have this sort of exit point. But in the end, if you don't want to use this feature, you can set the huge number right here, and you won't have to worry about it at all. Then we have this little show intermediate Nash distance function, which only works for the vector algorithms. If we turn this function on, then we will see the intermediate precision results. So we can constantly track the precision of calculations. This slows down the calculations a little bit. And also, if we turn it on, we can set the threshold for Nash distance. For example, if we set 0.1, the program will calculate the results up to this threshold of 0.1 Nash distance. Or if this Nash distance is not reached, then the program will go through all the iterations we set up here.
Okay, there are a few more things that need further explanation. Here you can set the board. Yeah, click whatever card you want and this will get inserted. You can choose the street. You can choose the effective stack size and how big the main port is already. And yeah, here you can set the bed sizes. Yeah, as you can see, I already made a separate one on my own half port, and port was predefined, and yeah, I built another one for 3/4 port, and yeah, you could also define up to 3 different sizes on every street. This could make sense, and yeah, I think if you want to increase your edge, expert tip, I would experiment with different sizings, especially on the river. This could be interesting, and there's definitely edge to be gained in the game still. And yeah, it feels like nobody, at least not on the mid stakes, has figured it out yet. So yeah, try this one out. Okay, that's this. Yeah, okay, then we also got the rake. We could also solve for turnips when we would pick the ship EV, and yeah, here you can insert the rake structure. This is the rake cap in BBs. And yeah, also you also have to answer the question which player is first. And yeah, we now got almost everything explained yet. Let's now get into flop simulation. I will now show you how to solve a game tree and how easy it is with Simple Omaha. Therefore, I just choose randomly the ace, 8 of spade and the 7 diamond flop. And yeah, unfortunately, we have no pre-flop simulations in Simple Omaha, so therefore we have to use other tools in order to get appropriate ranges, and that's why you also see PLO Trainer on this screen. And yeah, it's just say that the button is opening, and therefore we need a usual button range. You can see the button is supposed to open 51.9%, and yeah, we will copy this range to clipboard. And yeah, we'll soon add this to player 2, as player 1 is the one out of position. We say the bet size is 3/4 pot on the flop. And yeah, we also have to put in the rake. So the rake, let's say, is 5% and the cap is 0.6. This is about right, I think, if it's for PLO 500, so $3 cap. I think this is probably correct. So let's go with this. And yep, it seems like we need to set some more things. Apply situation, okay. Now we are good to go, as it seems. Let's open this game tree. Yeah, that's a huge one. Looks good. to me. And yeah, now we have to put in the ranges. This is also very easy. We click here and pass the range for player 2. Now we also need to determine the range for player 1. Oops, misclick, sorry. And that's how we do it. So now it's on the big blind and he will defend with the following range. So we assume that he's just calling, so we will insert the calling range. This is 41.2%. Again, we have to use PPT. All the other two are not working. I tried beforehand. So copy to clipboard. Oops. And past range. There are also different ways to put in a range, as you can see. Yeah, we have some prepared ranges for you. So you don't necessarily have to use another program to get ranges, but I'd like to have it most accurately, and yeah, that's why I do it this way. But we could have just chosen for the raise first in 50% range for the button, and then for this big blind player we could have let's see if we unfortunately we would have to construct this range on our own. So but yeah, but you see you have a lot of prepared ranges. And the good thing about this is you can also determine or use other ranges. So if a guy plays quite different to the optimal strategy, then you can add in other ranges too and see what the optimal solution is to that is. So that's something very nice and not covered by PLO Trainer. But yeah, without further ado, as we now put in the ranges, we just have to click calculate flop, and yeah, then we are good to go. I will also show you what my settings are for this calculation. So I choose this algorithm and low accuracy, and for the turn river I have a better one, but yeah, this is just for the flop, so yeah. Let's go, and I'm very curious on how long this will take, and yeah, we'll let you know once it's finished. Let's now click on calculate flop, and yeah, we'll see each other in a bit. Okay, so about 3 hours later, we finally got some results. And yeah, let's see how much our results differ from the one we got on the JNendes app. And the results here are built with Monkersolver and probably also with a way bigger accuracy. I mean, our sim just ran for three hours, so we cannot expect to have the best accuracy. But let's see how good it is if we just have little time. And yeah, as you can see, you are supposed to check here, according to Poker Trainer, about 97%. And yeah, here it's 93%. 4% difference is 4% difference is quite a lot. And yeah, also in the JNendes sim, we are betting way less. Okay, let's also see. Once we are facing a check, what is player 2 doing? So that's this tree. Let's see. Check 46%. It's 44%. So that's closer to the result in Janenda's sim, and betting 54% in Janenda's sim and 56% here. So yeah, this is closer. But in general, they are not off by that much. I'm also not entirely sure if I put in the correct Rakestructure, so this could also be an explanation for a bit of the difference. I guess, I mean, it's PLO. You cannot remember thousands of combinations anyways. You just have to get a general idea, and yeah, the general idea is we almost ever check the flop. This is coming in both sims, and after only 3 hours, I think this is quite accurate and okay. Yeah, let's do one more check. If he donks out, what is how is the button reacting in both examples? So player 1 is not checking this time. He is betting. Where's the bet? Here's the bet. And we should call 48% in our sim, and it's 49 in JNN. So this is quite close. Folding 34, and it's almost identical, these two numbers, and we should raise, according to JNN's simulation, 17%, and Simple Omaha says we should raise 17% too, so that's very good. Nice to see that only the out of position player, the big blind, has a little bigger difference, and all the other ones are very okay-ish, given that we run the sim so short only. So after we now checked for accuracy, and it's quite good, let's now look into this a bit further. As you can see, we can click on something. Let's get bet and player, and so player, let's say player 1 bet, and now it's on player 2 to decide. So here we go. Yeah, this is a good visualization of the range, a lot better than the one in Monka, I have to say. So yeah, you see with colors what you are supposed to do with different parts of your range. And if you don't like the default colors, you can always change them. And yeah, yellow is a call, red is fold, and green represents a raise. And yeah, as you can see, some things and what you should do. We can also put in some filters. For example, what should we do with 2 kings? Yeah, looks like most of our hands want to fold. Makes quite a lot of sense. So let's remove these filters. Let's now move on to the turn and river sims. So if we looked enough into this one, we could now move to the later streets. And let's start with the turn. So let's say that player 1 was betting and player 2 raised him. And we have to close the action in order to be able to move on to the turn. So let's say player 1, the big blind, now calls. Now we should be able to... So he raised, this guy calls. So we should be able to go on to the turn. This is not working yet because I did not choose a card. So let's go with the King of Diamonds, I say. So King of Diamonds is what we choose, and you can see the range get converted here. And yeah, now we could again decide what algorithm we want to use and about the accuracy. So let's let it be at this settings. This time I set the check mark for show intermediate mesh distance. I think this is very important. And yeah, now the turn calculation should be a lot faster. But before we start, we will first look into the memory we will need. As you can see, we have about 51,000 megabyte RAM, and we only need 2 gigabyte of RAM, so we are well prepared to do the sim. And this one now should be a lot faster, only the flops take a while. But yeah, you can see we are only already at 4%, and yeah, 9 is quite fast. I mean, this probably just takes 1 or 2 minutes. This is nothing compared to the 3 hours before. And yeah, very important to also calculate for the mesh distance. This will make it a bit slower, but yeah, you want to have this information because this number gives you the information on how much your solved equilibrium is away from the actual optimal solution. And yeah, we obviously want to know how big of a mistake we might make using the simulation. So this number should be as small as possible. So let's see on what number we end up. I guess for the flop with low accuracy and with the Monte Carlo simulation, we probably have a number a bit too high. So maybe it's recommended to use a simulation that's a bit better than the one I used. But yeah, as we forgot to hit the check mark, it's hard to say. Luckily, we are almost finished with the turn simulation. Now we can look into the mesh distance number 2. Not yet, but yeah, 3%, 1%, and we are almost there. Yeah. Mesh distance is 0.001, so this is a very accurate one, and yeah, this looks quite good. And after a donk and a race, the player 1 is supposed to check almost always on this card. And player 2, okay, this is a case that never happens. Yeah, player 2 is supposed to continue betting on this card. And player 1 should call the majority of the time. And yeah, fold almost never. Also raise almost never. Well, not almost never though, so that's 70% is quite a number. Let's now see if we can again compare, and we can't. Unfortunately, the poker trainer has no turn sim for this one, so we have to believe in these numbers, and that's where this program actually has its great strength, because the solutions that are on the market for pre-flop and flop are very strong and very good. So PLO Trainer is perfect for these 2 streets. But on the turn, we almost have no sims, at least by far not enough. And on the river, I think we have no sims, or if we have some, very, very little. And yeah, the same is also true for, how is it called, PLO Vision. They are weaker in the pre-flop spot from the solver standpoint. On the flop, we might have about the same amount of sims. Maybe Vision has some more or PLO Trainer has some more. I don't know actually. But on the turn, PLO Vision for sure has more sims. But on the river, it also has no sims. So this program is very, very helpful on turns and rivers because, yeah, you can look into situations other players that only have PLO Vision or PLO Trainer can't look into. And rivers and turns are the streets with a lot of money in the pot already and where people need to improve a lot. So yeah, it's definitely recommended to get this program if you want to get ahead of your competition. So let's now go with player 1 checks, player 2 checks, and we select the river card. Let's say it's this looks like an action card. No, let's take this one. Let's see, what algorithm are we choosing this time? Let's go with this one again. Let's see how much Nash distance is with these very low settings and how long it takes. Okay, let's calculate for the river. I forgot to look into the memory, but yeah, as you can see already, the memory requirement is very low for the turn already, and for the river I expect it to be even lower because yeah, the ranges are very condensed down, not many cards anymore, and yeah, the computer needs to do a lot less work when on the flop. It goes down exponentially what he has to do. And as you can see, this was very, very fast. We could use a model with way more accuracy for sure. Would also be still fast, and but the Nash distance here is also almost perfect. So yeah, no need to go up in accuracy in my mind. Yeah, this way you could get ahead on your competition because now you have river sims and they are also available very, very quickly. So yeah, nice one. I like it. Yeah, unfortunately, again, no comparison possible as no river sims available. But yeah, especially for the turn and the river, this program is very, very helpful. Yeah, let's move on. After this tutorial, I will now also compare the Simple Omaha with the biggest and most well-known solver on the market, Monkersolver, and we can compare the two on a few different dimensions. Let's start with the price. Monkersolver is more expensive, at least at first glance. It costs 499 euros, and Simple Omaha only costs $249. So these are different currencies. Euros are more expensive. So you could use, but there's also a catch. Unfortunately, the Simple Poker product is just a license for 1 year, so you would have to pay it again and again. And if you use it for more than 3 years, then or 3 years, then you will be break even with Monkersolver. So yeah, price-wise, I would say none has the clear advantage or disadvantage. And yeah, support-wise, Monka is the worst. I mean, I sent several emails to them, none of them got answered. If you need any help, you basically have to get in Skype or Discord groups, and you need to get quite lucky in order to get anyone who will help you. And I say the usability from the Simple Omaha product is a lot better. I mean, I basically got into it today and I was able to use it and understood it all well. And that's a big plus if you don't want to use a lot of hours or just to understand Monka and to be able to set up sims, then yeah, go to Simple Omaha, as this is a lot user friendly. And you also have support. I mean, I mailed back and forth with the developers a lot, and they usually answer in a very short amount of time. So that's a plus. But unfortunately, the simple PLO comes with a lot of limitations. First is that you don't have pre-flop. Second is that you only have two-way spots post-flop, so no three-way or four-way pots, for example. And Monka also has another big advantage, and that is that you can solve mini games. I'm not sure which games are included. I think at least fixed limit hold'em, no limit hold'em, and pot limit Omaha 4-card. I think most likely 5-card PLOs can also be solved with this one. I mean, maybe almost all the games you played at the moment can be solved with Monka. So if you are a guy willing to get into many games, then Monka is definitely the thing you want to use. Simple Omaha allows to run sims without abstractions, but there's also a downside. Flop calculations usually require more resources than the ones in Monka, but therefore Simple Omaha should be more accurate than Monka, at least on the later streets, Turn and River. And this is where the most expensive decisions will be made. And yeah, these are also the streets where you can get an edge in today's games, I say. I mean, people work a lot with either PLO Vision or how is it called, with Poker Trainer, but most learn pre-flop the most, and with Poker Trainer, for example, you cannot go deep into turns. You have to stick to flops, and so this is an area where an edge can be gained, and yeah, that's where I would use this product. I mean, if you are a professional poker player, you also don't mind to get 2 or more solvers. I mean, what are like $200 if you can get the slightest edge out of this product? It's definitely worth it. But yeah, my recommendation would be, if you could just want to be purchasing one. Yeah, I mean, it depends what personality type you are. If you are not good or not willing to invest a lot of work to understand the product and to do this work all on your own and don't get any support, then I would say go to, I mean, if you want a product that you can use instantaneous and which is intuitively, when I say go to Simple Omaha, but you have to live with the shortcomings, like no three-way flops or turns or rivers, so no multi-way, no pre-flop, and with the limitations I just said on the flop. And yeah, if you are willing to work yourself into it and invest a lot of time to understand the product, to get into it, to understand how a tree is built, then yeah, Monka is the one you want to go to. Monka has huge advantage, especially if you play several games, because it can be used for almost every game which is played at the moment. So yeah, I cannot make the decision for you. So you have to decide what personality type you are. If you are like me, playing high stakes or mid stakes and try to get the biggest edge possible, it's probably best to get both products, to be honest. I also don't want to run big sims, because yeah, it's insanely expensive. You need a very good computer with a lot of RAM. It's best to rent a server, maybe even more than one, because yeah, it takes a lot to solve these equilibriums, and yeah, you can solve a few at a time if you have more than one server, but yeah, the costs also get up exponentially. So my recommendation would to use the things you already got on the market, where people already build the sims for you. So go either to PLO Vision or the PLO Trainer. By the way, I will also put affiliate links below. So yeah, you will have no disadvantage when you use these links, but I will earn some. So use this pre-solved stuff, and once there is not when the flop texture, turn texture, or whatever is missing, then go to one of these other products. And especially for turns and rivers, I would say that the Simple Omaha product is quite good when you get your ranges for flop and pre-flop from one of the products mentioned. So yeah, that's what my recommendation is. Yeah, I hope you learned something. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Thanks for watching, and yeah, good luck at the tables. Bye bye.